We're finally at keyword searching. I have a question to ask you. At what point in the research process is it appropriate to conduct a full text keyword search? What do you think? Here's your hint. The answer is at the end, after you've used the other case finding methods, then you're going to jump into your keyword searching option. So only after you've used secondary sources to gain a background, context, and started locating your primary law that way. After you've used that primary law to expand using notes of decisions and statutes, using headnotes with the classification system, using citators, then you can run your keyword search to look for your fact-specific cases and to double check yourself. Did you miss anything? Research is that iterative process. You want to make sure that the same cases are coming up again and again. So we're ready to do this last. The keyword searching comes last. Let's get into it. There are two main ways to enter keywords. You can use a natural language method or the terms and connectors method, also known as Boolean. In the natural language method, you use no connectors. You just put your words in like Google, and it incorporates AI, not generative AI, but old-fashioned AI, where the database is going to use an algorithm to guess what results you want. But in terms and connectors, you use the connectors. You control exactly what the computer is going to give back to you, and it gives you very precise results, which rely less on post-search filtering, but also means that you have to get this right. If you don't get the connectors and your terms exactly right, the computer's not going to give you back anything useful. So no matter which method you choose, the natural language or the Boolean options, you have to use relevant keywords, not just junk keywords. And you have to put them into the relevant database, not just the main search bar. Anyone off the street can put junk keywords into the main search bar. Don't do that. First, you're going to lose points in legal research class. If I'm grading and I see your research trail that you just threw some lazy keywords into the main search bar, you're losing points. And second, beyond my little research class, being a lazy researcher is not going to earn you any imaginary points with your employer. So doing inefficient research is not going to get you ahead in your career. So let's start with the relevant keywords piece. First, you're going to select your starting keywords, not your final ones, but your starting ones. You're going to pull the factual terms right out of the fact pattern. You're going to pull your legal issues right out of the fact pattern, or for wherever you're getting your assignment, the hypo, here in class, the complaint, the client intake interview, wherever. Pull those starting terms out and then really look at them. How can you make them better as keywords? You're going to craft them into better keywords. You're going to think about how likely those starting terms are going to be to appear in a case. If it's not very likely those exact terms are going to appear, then you're going to want to craft them into terms that will appear. You want to identify the legal concepts, perhaps the terms of art that are used to describe that concept. You want to consider synonyms for your factual terms and maybe expand them beyond the narrow factual term that you have down as your starting point. You don't want to be too broad, but you also don't want to be too specific. So if you're dealing with a case where a car was stolen, you might go too broad if you say transportation theft as your keyword. Someone might have stolen a bus or a plane or a boat, right? Too specific would be searching for cases involving 2001 Ford Ranger theft. That's not going to get you a lot of good results. But about right would be auto theft, automobile theft, car theft, right? So that's in the middle. It's that sweet Goldilocks spot. Then once you've got your good, you're not lazy keywords, but good ones, then you're going to select the database you put them in. So you're not just going to put your keywords into that main search bar at the top of Lexis or Westlaw, but you're going to select a relevant database. It's going to make your search more efficient. So take a look at your jurisdiction, use the smallest relevant database possible, and then search in that database directly. What does that look like? So here's an example. if you want Ninth Circuit cases, those are the ones that are bind you, let's presume, then search Ninth Circuit cases. So here in Lexis, you'll go to jurisdiction, Ninth Circuit. You're going to go to, first you go to federal, then to Ninth Circuit, then to cases. You're going to have to click all the Ninth Circuit cases first, but here's what happens when you do that. Then you are allowed to further narrow. So you can select your sources to search, and you're going to get the SCOTUS and the Ninth Circuit in there, and it's going to change this box right here. So now you're going to put your good keywords in the most relevant search bar, and you're not going to lose points either figuratively or literally. So this is a good way to go about it. Or better yet, click this basically invisible, thank you, Lexis, advanced search button. It's in white font. It's there, I promise, advanced search. So you click on the advanced search button, and then you pop your keywords into a field or a segment, and you really impress me or impress your boss with your efficient case finding skills. So let's talk about fields and segments and that advanced search button. So clicking that advanced search button opens the doors to fields and segments. Why would you want to open that door? You're happy using natural language like Google. Why make things more complicated? Well, this extra step is going to take you leaps and bounds ahead of your peers who are not using it, right? So if you're wanting to stand out as someone who can conduct reliable research, giving the best, most reliable, relevant cases to the assigning attorney that you're working with in a timely manner, you're going to accomplish that successfully and with more efficiency using advanced search with field searching than you are if you're just flinging random keywords into the main search bar. So all of that to say, don't be the lazy keyword flinger, and instead stand out from the crowd and walk with me through the advanced search door. All right, enough pep talk. Let's talk about what I mean by fields and segments. So field and segment searching is going to help you be more efficient, more effective. It's going to provide you a template so you don't have to figure out what the fields are yourself. And then it's going to enable you to search the specific parts of a document. Here's what it looks like. In the advanced search for Lexis, you're going to look for headnotes. That all of this content is in Brightspace, so do review that. But by searching for your keywords in the headnotes field, you're going to ensure that the case is about that. There's a point of law about your keywords, as opposed to just them appearing anywhere in a case that's not actually relevant. So if you think back to your assignment, your last big assignment that we did from Module 5, you were asked about damages that were available. And then you were asked whether proof of actual damages is a prerequisite. So if we were doing this, looking for this answer using keywords instead of using, well, not instead of, but after successfully looking at secondary sources, after successfully using headnotes, then we get to that last number 5, case finding methods, keywords. Then we're going to see what we can find to answer this question with keywords. So I wanted to use exactly the phrase public accommodation because that's going to get me that ADA and UNRRA stuff. And then in the headnotes field is where I put actual damages. So I run that search and then I get cases that look familiar. This is how I start to realize I might be entering the end of my research process because I also saw these cases, the Arroyo case, the Bodason case. I didn't actually see that one, but I saw the Molsky case, the Antonetti case, the Lentini case. All of these had come up before when I was using headnotes, when I was using them with the classification system, with the citator. They popped up in Calger. So this is a really good way to double check your work. All right. Did you notice that I put quotation marks around some phrases? So I put them around public accommodation. I put them around actual damages. Does this mean that I am telling you to put quote marks around every phrase that you search? No, that's not what I'm saying. Don't put quote marks around every phrase that you search. But let's take a look at the use of quotation marks. It's called phrase searching. And if you were to search for the phrase right to bear arms and you were putting it in quotation marks, that would get you a case that says exactly right to bear arms. It would get you a case that says The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And you'd be happy because you were looking for a case like that. But you would be sad because you would miss a case that says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This language would not appear if you searched for this in quotation marks. So instead, if you want to make sure you get both of these results, don't use quotation marks, but put together a correct terms and connectors search. So right to bear is in the same sentence and the word arms. So this would get you both of these. Or you can just go with natural language and put it in with no quotation marks, and it should get you these as well. So be careful with quote marks. A couple other pro tips. Commas are not used. They're not a thing. So you're not going to put right, comma, bear, comma, arm. Don't use commas. It's not a thing. Connectors will connect every single term if you're using a Boolean search. You can't skip a term. Right here it's skipped. You can't do that. You have to put a connector between each and every term. So connector between these two is same sentence. Connector between these two is the connector and. All right, those are the pro tips. And then you're going to evaluate your results. Whether you use natural language or terms and connectors, you're going to filter, you're going to read your results, knowing that the natural language algorithms are going to bring the most statistically relevant results to the top of the list. But if those first few on that list aren't relevant, you need to rethink your search terms, try again. Same thing over here. Terms and connectors is going to give you exactly what you asked for. And sometimes you didn't even know you asked for something you asked for. And if that isn't what you want, then you need to rethink your terms and your connectors. So now you're ready to finish up the learning exercise. Yay, finally, the last bit. Part 5 on keywords. But after you finish this learning exercise, I need you to join me back here for one more lecture video to finish out this module. We've got a little bit more content to cover, and I will see you in that video.